It's lovely sitting on a pavement cafe, especially when you've got a beautiful lady with you. And I've got a lady called Simone with me.
Simona.
Simona.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you tell me your second name? Because I can't pronounce it.
Mango?
Okay, Mango.
Yeah. Not too hard.
Now, you're a mezzo soprano.
Yes.
What's a mezzo soprano?
Good question. That is a lower female voice. The high voice, which is the most famous, the most, the one everyone knows is soprano. It's the ladies who sing really, really high. And then there's a mezzo soprano, which is a lot lower. It's the equivalent of a baritone, so it's a fuller and deeper voice. And some people make a third distinction as a contralto, which is an alto, which is even lower. For most people, a mezzo-soprano covers everything from middle to really, really low. I'm one of those. I go down to the cellar.
One of the things with opera, which is what we're talking about, obviously, I guess the thing with most people is they just don't understand opera. How did you get into opera in the first place?
I don't know. I just always loved it since I was a small kid. My parents used to listen to lots of classical music, not lots of opera, but lots of classical music, and some opera sneaked in from time to time, and I absolutely loved it. And I would just sing along with every voice, from high women to low men. I thought that was the way I sing. I wasn't able to sing, of course, like that. I just started learning it and getting into the idiom, if you will.
It's a fascinating thing, though, because, I mean, opera is one of those things that's been around for years and years, centuries.
Yes.
And it's not something which, I guess, younger people would really latch onto. Although saying that, I mean, I watch TV programs and there's a lot of younger people that are singing opera.
Oh yes, I'm happy to say there's many young ones who are, thinking about really making a profession out of it and who are really passionate about it. It's not the same with audiences, but part of what I do is also trying to get people closer to classical music, to opera, to classical singing, because there's this idea that it's boring and difficult and I won't understand anything anyway, and they all scream, you don't get a single word, it all sounds the same, and it's full of dust and cobwebs.
I think there is this sort of thing about old opera, and you see these sort of shows maybe on TV or something like that, where there is somebody who has got a huge voice singing in Latin or in Italian, and everybody goes, what on earth is it all about? Is this something you've faced?
Yes, but I studied in Italy.
Yeah.
And so, of course, there's a bit more of
Acceptance.
Yeah, people are more used to it.
Yeah.
And of course I was singing lots of Italian opera, which already helps a little bit. But opera is not only Italian, there's amazing French opera, Russian, German, Spanish, you name it. So you start adding things to your repertoire, and whenever you go to a country you bring things which are in another language, different from theirs. So I try to always mix in some in their language and some from other composers.
Do you find that you were born in Naples? Do you find that sort of gave you this huge basis to work from?
It definitely gave me a big repertoire, and that is Neapolitan repertoire, Neapolitan song. That's something I grew up with. It's, to give you an idea, O Sole Mio, that is a Neapolitan song, or things like Torna Sorrento, which is the famous melody Elvis sang and everyone sings it in 1,000 different languages. That is one of the big Neapolitan songs, so everyone knows a couple of them, but the repertoire is huge. It's an amazing gold mine of wonderful songs.
Now, we were talking just before this about the fact that you are putting on or involved in a show which is quite huge, and some of the music which you're going to be doing involves that Neapolitan style music you were just talking about there. But this show encases all sorts of different styles of opera, yeah?
This is more than a show, it's a series of shows. It's a whole festival. It's a week-long festival on the Costa del Sol. It's in Mijas Costa, in La Cala de Mijas. And it's 7 days with 7 different concerts, different styles of music. There's from a recital by me and an English baritone to Turkish belly dance as well. It's really quite varied. And on the last night, there's a bit of everything. It's like a night at the proms with lots of surprises.
Okay, how on earth did you get to be involved in doing this? Because you're not just singing; you're actually helping to promote and work with the whole team in bringing it together.
Yes, I was introduced to these people by Ali Mihan, who is the founder of Costa Women. Uh-huh. She's amazing. What she does here on the Costa is amazing. The way she puts people together and makes things happen is really quite something. And she set me in contact with Shane O'Shea, who's the director of the festival. I think it's his creation completely, and we started thinking, brainstorming a little bit. I agreed to help in the organization, and then one thing after another. He said, "Why don't you give a recital for me?" I said, "Why not?"
I mean, the one thing that people may not know is that you are a recognized international singer anyway, because you've sung all over the world.
I've sung in many countries, but I'm not one of those, jetting opera stars. I'm actually much more of a concert animal. I'm a recital mouse, and I like the variety of it. I go to near and far countries. I love it. I'm trying to travel a bit less now. I want to get established better here. I want to concentrate on the Costa del Sol and Malaga.
Yeah.
And I love this. I want to stop commuting to all these places and create something here. One of the things I do is kind of bringing music to people. And I can't really do this if I'm always engaged somewhere and going from one place to another. I'm trying to create something here. And it's funny because that's what the festival and the whole organization of Project Music, they're called, what they're doing already. They're totally up my road.
Yeah.
And yes, so I found that someone else was doing the same, and they were already a bit more advanced in it. They started before me, and they're doing a great job. So we're kind of joining forces at the moment. But I have my own organization, which is called Allegro con Fuoco.
Do you find that Spain and the Spanish people are very open to accept, sort of the kind of music that you present?
Yes, I do. They like it when it's full on, when it's lively, when it's loud, when it's passionate, when it's they like that. They got plenty of that in their own tradition, and they can relate to that.
Because the one thing I would have thought is fusing what you do with maybe flamenco style instrumentation would be fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. That would be amazing. In my duo with the guitar, we do some of that. My partner plays, influenced by flamenco for sure. We've never done it, in a big flamenco kind of ensemble. We've never done that, but it could be. I'm sure it will work. I'm absolutely sure. These two styles have so much in common.
Now, you mentioned your partner there, and some of the things I've seen on, I think it was on YouTube, or it might have just been on your website, involve you and just your partner playing guitar, classical guitar. Do you feel comfortable doing that? Because it's very open, it's very sort of, there's nowhere to go, is there?
No, it's pretty exposed for both of us. But I'm used, this is normal for classical singers to work with one instrument only. It's usually piano.
Yeah.
Most of what we do is with a piano. But guitar works really, really well. The guitar is slightly amplified because it's a rather quiet instrument, so it needs a bit of a boost. But if the player's got that fire, then it works really, really well.
How about working with a full orchestra?
Orchestra? Oh yeah. You do that all the time. You do that in operas, of course. And you do that in sacred music when you have, requiems and masses and all of that. And it can be recitals, it can be big orchestral concerts that as well. Sure, I love it.
I have a friend who is an opera singer in the UK, and he's just finished a tour all around the UK with a full symphony orchestra. And he was saying that one of the most adrenaline-fueled moments he ever has is when he walks on stage with a full orchestra, because you know it's just going to fill everywhere with sound. Is that the feeling you get?
Yes, it is absolutely amazing. And also, when you're sharing a concert with other soloists as well, or in the breaks where you're not singing, you usually sit down. I'm not talking about an opera, I'm talking about concerts. And you sit down and you are in this sound, in this amazing, I can't even call it a cloud, it's a thunder of sound, and it's absolutely incredible. You feel everything, your bones vibrate. It's fantastic.
I guess it must be a little bit like a rock musician. When a rock musician is stood there on stage surrounded by the guitars and everything else, it's that same feeling, I guess.
Absolutely, it's that power, and that's why with rock as well, that's one thing those two styles have in common. There's more gentle, more
melodic,
more quiet kinds of music, but opera and rock go together really, really well. Wouldn't be the first time.
I was going to say that, have you ever thought of blending the two together yourself?
Oh, of course.
Because there are so many rock singers that seem to want to be opera singers, and quite a few opera singers that really enjoy singing rock.
Yes, I wouldn't really sing rock. I don't think I would be a good rock singer, but I can definitely make a lot of noise on top of good rock, for sure.
So tell us, when is the festival taking place?
It's the first week of October 1st to the 7th. And it's not only the concerts in the evening, but it opens, I think, at 11 in the morning. There's a huge exhibition, 10 sculptures and painters. It's open all day, more or less. And the place is amazing. The venue is just wonderful. And there's going to be fashion designers. There's going to be authors, film directors, many talks, presentations. It's incredibly concentrated. There's nothing like that in Spain.
No.
It's a week that's full on.
And this is taking place in La Cala de Mijas?
Yes, in Avanto in La Cala de Mijas. The venue is amazing, and
it's like it is like a full festival then, full arts festival with all the different sides of the arts being represented.
Yes, it's dedicated to performing and visual arts. So it's not only music, it's mainly music, but there's lots around it.
Okay, Simona, thank you so much for your time. Oh, before we go, is there any way of finding out more information? Is there a website or something like that people could have a look at?
Yes, definitely. There is a website, salidadelsol.org. The festival is called Salida del Sol, Sunrise, and all information, everything is to be found there.
Okay, once again, thank you so much for your time. Sorry it's been a bit noisy, but then we're in Spain, so what do you expect?
Thank you, Lee. Really nice. Thank you.
Thanks.